Hello and welcome to Naked Girls TV. Thank you for tuning in. Today's special, Sundays with Shamika Michelle, starring the most naked girl herself, Shamika Michelle. She is a mother, a motivational speaker, an activist, and author. The name of her book is entitled Keep It Naked, a naked girl's guide to live life authentically. This book is printed on demand at most major bookstores and can be ordered directly from Amazon.com. We're going to listen to a couple of tunes. A tune entitled I'm Better Than You by the internationally acclaimed singing sensation called The Naked Girls. And we'll be right back with the naked girl herself, Miss Shamika Michelle. Stay tuned, grab your drinks, lock it in, jam out with us, and when we come back, you'll be hearing directly from the naked girl herself regarding today's topic and title, Know Your Worth. Hit it, DJ.
Hey, Twin.
Hey, my Chrissy, you ready? I'm outside.
I was born ready. You know I ain't got to be my feet and put no weed together before I leave, so
I'm beautiful, I'm so fine, so prima. I'm better than you, it's my life, I call the shots. I can do whatever I want. I've been doing my own thing. I'm better than you, set the rules to my own game. I'm better than you, They say that I am conceited. Well, I must admit, I think I'm the shit. They say that I talk too loud, but when I rock the crowd, sit your black ass down.
Tell him, girl.
I can't, I do. I wake up just to make my own rules. I cannot lose. I stay the best to make my own move.
And
I'm beautiful, I'm so fine, so prima. I'm better than you, it's my life, I call the shots. I can do whatever I want. I've been doing my own thing. I'm better than you, set the rules to my own game. I'm better than you,
see, I grew up thinking I want shit.
now motherfuckers can't fuck with this. See, I ain't trying to say I'm better than y'all. I'm just listening to the mirror, mirror on the wall. Mama really had to build my self-esteem to love myself. Now I believe that confidence is what I want, 'cause I can do whatever I want. She's looking me in the mirror, cool, I start looking back. I didn't like her skin was too black. Mama said the blacker the better, the sweeter the juice. And the berries the light, they have no use. I've been doing my own thing. When I lost my man, I lost everything young. Thought I was sure. I lifted and it rolled up. I'm beautiful, I'm so fine, so prima. I'm better than you, it's my life, I call the shots. I can do whatever I want. I've been doing my own thing. I'm better than you, set the rules to my own game. I'm better than you,
I'm just listening to the mirror, mirror on the wall. And see, my mirror tells me I don't need all that. All them fake nails and fake hair, fake eyelashes. Come on, y'all. I was born great. I ain't trying to do all that fake mess. Not today.
Well, we're not doing fake mess today, but we are having a real unhidden conversation with the most naked girl in the world, Miss Shamika Michelle. It's Sundays with Shamika Michelle, and the topic is, do you know your worth? In honor of Domestic Violence Month, and as a spin-off from our Women in Waffles NC 2017 event today, we thought we'd carry this message over into our showcase tonight.
Whoop, 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 whoop,
So
whoop.
let's get into it.
Yes. So the question is, do you know your worth? I am drinking tonight a red apple ale, and actually I only had half a bottle because I tried to drink it last night and I was just too tired. So I had to put the cap on, and no, I'm good, babe, thanks, and drink the rest of it tonight. Anyway, do you know your worth? As I was just listening to the song, you know, there's a part in the song, well, several times we say, I'm better than you. And then there's a part when Chris says, they say that I am conceited. Well, I must admit, I think I'm the shit. Now, when we talk about knowing our worth, what I don't understand is that line, especially when we say I'm better than you, some people have found that offensive. Like, we've had people actually comment to say things like, you aren't better than anybody, we are all equal. And in a sense, I can understand where they are coming from, but I'm trying to figure out why they don't understand all things are not always created equal. I drive a Mercedes-Benz. If anybody else has a car that's fast, that can get up and go, you know when you're on the road whether or not you can pass somebody or if you need to fall back. Now, if I'm sitting beside a BMW, sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I'm not too sure. But if I'm sitting at the light beside a Hyundai, I know my car is better than that. And I can get up and go at a faster speed. I go from 0 to 100 way faster than a Hyundai. So we have no problem with things such as that, feeling like it's better. My Benz is better than a Hyundai. Of course, it will all get to the same place eventually, but I could probably get there a little bit faster. When it's time to pass them, I could pass them a little faster. I'm going to be coming a little bit more in style than that Hyundai. My payments were more than a Hyundai, and my car insurance is more than the insurance on the Hyundai. So what I'm trying to figure out is why, as people, we don't understand our worth. We can look up a car and know the details and the specifications down to a T on a car. You know that if you have a sunroof, they're going to jack the price up. If you have factory rims versus some specialized rims, that's going to jack the price up. Whether or not your seats are heated in your car, that may jack the price up. Sometimes we are not all equal. The price up. Sonya does that every broadcast, just waiting on her every broadcast, you know. And so what I don't understand,
I'm not done. I can't get it to go down.
Every broadcast. Okay, let's let Sonya get it down.
Hell, Kayla.
So what I don't
Why won't it go down? See? Okay.
Sometimes it takes the young people to get the technology to work right. So what I don't understand is, as people, why don't we know our worth? Why don't we understand our value? Why don't we know that sometimes we are not the same as the next person sitting beside us? And although this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we've already been discussing on the page that it happens to both men and women. Today I spoke to a room full of women, and I wanted to know from them, did they know their worth? Were they a luxury car or were they a Pinto? Because I feel like when you understand, when you look at things compared to objects sometimes, it's better to get the message across. I
told them earlier today that my dream car is a white Range Rover with red leather interior. I don't have a white Range Rover sitting in my driveway. Why? Because I cannot afford it. So what I want to know is, as women and men too, why do we get with people that cannot afford us? And when I say afford us, I don't mean material things, as far as, because I don't like to shop. Any man that's with me would be like, thank you, Jesus. She's not asking for clothes and shoes and purses. I have clothes from when I was in high school over 20 years ago. I can still fit it. I'm the same size. I have my stuff is shifted a little bit. Everything's not where it used to be, you know what I'm saying? It's not as perky. But I can wear the same clothes. So I'm not a shopper. So I don't mean material-wise. Why do you get with somebody that does not understand your worth and they don't see the value in you? Do you know what you're worth? I talked earlier how you know, we're preparing a new website, The Naked Girls, and I asked some of the board members to send in their bio. And, you know, they have all said that they are naked, they are willing to be transparent, they are willing to be open and honest. And let me just be honest to say, some of their bios was a piece of shit. And I was trying to figure out, how do grown women have the time to sit, you know, you have a moment to sit and tell about yourself, and it's hard to figure out who you are. And so a lot of times we don't know our worth because initially we don't even know who we are. You know, it may be hard sometimes to just rattle off great things about you when you're speaking, but when you have the time to sit and write something and have a moment to think about it, what I want to know as people, why we can't write down things about ourselves that are great. Why do we have such a hard time with that? Why do we have a hard time defining ourselves, number one, by things outside of what we do? We'll easily say, oh, I'm a nurse, or I'm a mom, or I'm a preacher, or whatever. But really, who are you? What is your purpose? What do you bring to the table? What do you have to offer? So before you can know what your worth is, you need to know who you are. When I talked earlier today, I talked about the Bentley Flying Spur. And I talked about how when I went to the website, it listed everything about this Bentley that I needed to know. It told me that the car started at $189,000. It told me the horsepower. Then it went on to tell me the exterior features, then the interior features, and then it told me how it was created differently from other cars. It's different from other cars. So if you think about yourself, tell us, you should know exactly what you bring to the table. What are your exterior features? What are your interior features? And how are you created differently from the next person beside you? What's different about you? What do you have to bring to the table? What is your worth? You don't know your worth if you don't know who you are. And at this age, I feel like, you know, people should be able to sit and know exactly who they are and what they bring to the table. But we're getting in relationships and we are having women abused and mistreated. We're having men abused and mistreated because people don't know who they are and they don't know their worth. They don't know their value. If I was to walk out to on a Bentley car lot right now, I think I would have to bring some qualifications in order for me to be able to test drive a Bentley. I know someone that went to a parade of homes. Actually, I was talking to a realtor yesterday, and he was saying that you can't even him as a realtor can't just show any house. He has to put a $25,000 deposit to even show certain homes if they cost a certain amount. However, we'll get with people and we'll do all types of things with people knowing that they can't afford us. They don't know our worth. They don't know the value that we have. But we can't really blame them because you gotta know the value. If I was to walk onto Bentley's car lot right now, it is up to the people in the showroom to figure out whether or not I can take that car on a test drive. It is up to them to say, ma'am, how much do you make a year? You can't afford this Bentley. You might want to go test drive down at Honda, a couple blocks down. You might want to go test drive that. If I was to go see a $3 million home, they're going to want to know that I'm not wasting their time, that I'm not bringing the realtor out for anything. But we allow people to waste our time because we don't know our worth. We don't know our value. Sonia Lynette, do you have anything?
I have a question and I have a comment. Let's see. Not sure which one you might want to address first. Let me give you this comment. The comment is, this sounds stupid, comparing cars and things to people. You just told me your worth was a car that is only a luxury car in America. Please stop.
Okay, so whoever that is, actually you sound stupid, because what I said was I was using the comparison in order for us to get the message. So you sound like a damn dumbass or a jackass. See, we know that you're not really a donkey with hooves and a tail, but I just called you a jackass so that you could get the comparison to see how stupid and ignorant you sound. So do you see what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to use an object in order to get the message across. See, we know you're really not a donkey. Hee-haw, hee-haw. We know that's really not you. But I had to use that as an example on how stupid you sound. So if you were listening, and that's the problem with us, a lot of times we don't listen. We're so ready to say something. You would have heard me saying, I'm not talking about materially and I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about what we bring to the table, our value. And I use the car, you dumb jackass, as an example. So we know that you didn't do well in school, because if your teacher used an example, you were so caught on the example that you missed the motherfucking message. So now what I need you to do is bend over and let somebody pin the tail on the donkey, since you want to get up here and act like a jackass. Let me let you know, I'm not the one. And you better be glad I don't see your name, because then I will make a whole separate post and make you feel like a real fool just for getting up here saying some stupid shit. Okay? Because if you were listening, I clearly said I was using that as an example. There you go. What you have next?
All right, excellent job, thank you. I just thought maybe if she was the only one confused, there might be some other people out there. So thank
just
you
in case, yes, we cleared that up. It's called an example. Okay, thank you very much.
We have a question of concern. I thought it was valuable, and you can probably help this lady out. She says, how do you figure out who you really are? Because I'm struggling on finding who I really am.
And that is a good question. And you know what? A lot of times I feel like we have a hard time figuring out who we really are, because we are so afraid of the opinion of other people. A lot of times we try to put forth what we think people want to see from us. We want to, I'll give another example if you don't mind for the jackass here. When I was graduating high school, my mother is a nurse, my grandmother is a nurse, and what I'm doing now is what I have always loved. However, I was so concerned about what my grandmother or my mother wanted me to do, and maybe the people at church, you know, family. I went to college and majored in biology. To me, I said, well, since they are nurses, I'll be a doctor. So I went to college and majored in biology because I thought, you know, I'm going to be a doctor. I'll be an obstetrician gynecologist. I got accepted into the Bowman Gray Medical School summer program. I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do, which it didn't really make sense. Now that I look at it, I've always been into the arts. The arts has always been my passion, whether it was singing, dancing. I've always been a people person. I've always wanted to help people. I've always been a speaker from 5 years old, speaking in the church. That's always been something that was a natural part of me. But I was so concerned about the opinion of people that I decided to take a path, which in the end, I'm here. Because I was so concerned about the opinion of people. And I think one of the first things that we can do to figure out who we are is to not worry about what other people want us to be. To not worry about what other people may think about our interests, what we like, what we're passionate about. What are you passionate about? What do you love? Think about what it is you love, and don't think about whether or not somebody would think that's crazy, or that that's something, you know, that you can't make money from, or something that you can't do with your life. What is it that you love, and not think about how somebody else would feel about it? Because I know there's a lot of people that says she crazy. She gets up and she's doing a show on YouTube. She's not even on television. She wrote a, you know, I know that there are people that are looking at me crazy. I walked away from preaching in church. Now, you know you can make some money in church now, because I'm going to tell you, I can hoop and holler with the best of them. But that wasn't my passion. So I had to put that aside and decide that I really wanted to reach people and not worry about how people were going to view me or what they were going to think about me, so that I could really follow my passion. I hope I helped you by answering that question. I think one of the things we have to do is not worry about the opinion of people. What you got, Sonia?
I have a definition for an analogy, which is what, in a further, another word for example that you use for the card. Thank you to the viewer that put up the definition for analogy. It's a comparison between two things, typically for the purpose of explanation or clarification.
Thank you, viewer, for that definition.
Yes, and back to that analogy where we were comparing a card to human behavior. We have a viewer on the line that went so far as to say about not being able to afford something. The sad part is this: if we can get our paperwork and the bank will give it to us, we'll take a vehicle that we know we can't afford, and thus bring ourselves into alignment with everything else that comes along with that situation that we knowingly got into.
The struggle, the heartache,
the repossession, the late payments, the credit, whatever comes along with that card that you could not afford.
Exactly.
But you thought you could afford based on somebody else's standard.
And based on you not being honest with yourself.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times you know exactly what you're getting into, and you know that it may be a struggle, but you do it anyway. And that brings me to a recent example that I just had. And you know, I keep it naked. So just recently my period was late. Now, if you are a faithful follower, you know that a couple of months ago I had my IUD removed because I was having some issues. I was in a lot of pain. They told me I had a fibroid, and they told me I had a cyst, so I had my IUD taken out. And back then I was saying, you know, that I was tired of the birth control and yada yada yada, and just putting my body in a position where I was not gonna be feeling my best at all times. Well, back then I told my partner that 1 week out of the month when I was fertile, we definitely had to use some form of contraceptive because I don't want a baby. So anyway, we have not stuck to that. I didn't know my worth, you know, my value, and just recently my period was late. And I'm gonna tell y'all, for those that say I never drop a tear, I never cry, it never seems like stuff really gets to me, that got to me. And as I laid in my bed, wondering where, oh where was Mother Nature? When was Mary gonna show her head? I said to myself, I can't have a baby. We can't afford it. He can't afford it. Because everybody know I'm not getting ready to be out here working and pregnant and dropping my baby off at a daycare at 6 weeks old. I didn't do it when I was 21. I definitely won't do it at 42. You're going to have to get out there and work and take care of all the bills and take care of me and the kids. And that is something that he cannot afford. So that was a lesson for me to say, I got to put my foot down, because you can't have the luxury to just roll on top of me and do whatever you want to do any time of the month without protection. Why? Because you can't afford it. So that is saying too what you was just saying, Sonia, about we know just because somebody else might say you can afford something, you know when you can't afford it. You know when I can't afford anything. I can't afford a baby financially. I can't afford a baby with everything that I'm trying to do. I don't have time, because I can't tuck that baby in my pocket and take the baby wherever I need to go. And I'm on the move. Right now the baby could be crying and want a nurse, and I ain't got time because I'm right here doing Sundays with Shamika Michelle. I can't afford it. So because I can't afford it, that means that I have to take the necessary steps and make sure anybody around me understand what the value is. Can't afford it. I just put all our business out there. But sometimes if you with me, you're gonna be naked too. I ain't gonna be the only one naked. I gotta strip you butt naked sometime too. Only those close to me. I try not to strip everybody butt naked. He got on boxers right now. I didn't strip you completely naked. You know, I did let you keep the boxers on. What you got, Sonia?
I got a great extrapolation to your car example. We also got to be careful about those cars with kits on them that make them look like something else.
And that is the truth. That is so true. Because you have seen some of these broke down hoopties. I don't have rims. I don't have tint on my car. I don't have anything extra. But I will see a car that I know somebody bought with their tax refund, and they will have rims on it, they will have tint, they will have all the bells and whistles, and 2 months later it's broke down on the side of the road because they done bought a lemon. That is great. You gotta get to know these people for real, not just what they present to you on the outside, because you can meet a male or a female who looks like they have it all together, and then when you drive that car off the lot and you get it home, you done bought a lemon. So that is excellent. Thank you to that viewer. That is excellent. You better know exactly what you're getting. Make sure it is what it is.
And on the flip side of that, another viewer from Facebook adds that 9 out of 10 car dealers, and we're back to that example again, know who can drive off that car lot with that car.
Right, exactly. They know that. And that's why sometimes you'll pull up, I mean, they have to check that. I didn't go with my ex-husband to get my car, but they had already done, like, beforehand, let's make sure you qualify for this car. You know, before we even waste our time with you, let's make sure you can afford a Mercedes.
So if we're looking for a car, we should check ourselves, know our worth, be naked about our situation,
Right.
and know the specifications that we're looking for.
Exactly.
Because on the flip side of that, the person that's peddling the car, selling the vehicle, or themselves in a relationship situation, they have their list of specifications. Do you qualify? Do
Exactly.
you make enough? When do you get paid? Do you have insurance? Can you afford what we're offering?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's an awesome analogy, Shamika Michelle.
Thank you. Me in my great grandma's hat. This is my great grandmother's hat. She passed away in 1992, and even at 17, I knew I wanted this hat and I was gonna rock it, and I have kept it so nice and neat and perfect for over 25 years. So shout out to Frances Aga for leaving this hat for her great grand to wear.
Cars.
What else?
Cars. We also have another comment. It says, and we're adding to this car analogy that, and your qualifications line you up with the selection that is for you.
Right. And don't you need to know what you want before you even go to the car lot to start with? Like, one of the things I know, like I said, I know I want a white Range Rover with red leather interior. I want my Range Rover to have a sunroof. I already know that in advance because I have a little tad bit of claustrophobia. So I know I'm going to need the roof to open. Like, I just don't like to be closed in. It can't be, you know, my daughter has a Camaro and I hate riding with her because it just seems like it sits so low to the ground, and then I feel like the roof is right here on my head, and then I feel like she be turning the curves all fast and I be smashed up against the window and stuff. That is a car I'll never look at on the lot. I already know that. But you should have your specifications before you even get to the lot. You should have something that you know you want. You know you want air. You know you want heat. You know you may want power windows. Do they even make cars that don't have power windows? But I'm just saying.
They do.
You know you don't want to be sitting in there rolling the window down like this. What else you got, Sonya?
Naked Girls Texas says she usually does a 60 to 90 day probation period, and if it don't pan out after observation, it's a wrap.
Right.
Because she's valuable.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, Dr. O will cut you off in a heartbeat, like so fast. I know some of y'all are probably like, dog, I thought we was cool, and then the next day y'all ain't cool no more. She will cut you off because she knows her worth. Thank you, Naked Girls Texas.
Yes, and on your Facebook page, because we are streaming live from Naked Girls on Facebook, you can find us there. We're also streaming live from the official Shamika Michelle, the author, Facebook page. So if you're not on YouTube like the rest of the Naked Nation, you can find us on Facebook at Naked Girls or at Shamika Michelle. So as we continue in this car analogy example that Shamika gave, another viewer also suggested that we do our research and check our Carfax. As in a relationship, you get that printout.
Right.
It says this is where it's been damaged, it's been in a flood.
Oh,
It's
yes.
been in jail, it's got kids, it's got a wife somewhere in another state.
Exactly.
You know, he has
Right.
a rap sheet on physical abuse. So
Right.
we need to do our research and check our Carfax.
That is so true, and we do not do that. Haven't you seen someone get into a relationship and you like, you just like, do they even know what they are getting into? They didn't check the Carfax. That is so great. I appreciate everyone that understood exactly what was happening here and the analogy, example, what I was trying to say. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, that's what I'm talking about. Naked Nation, y'all just on point. Yes, you have to check the Carfax. I like that.
And we
That
have
is good.
viewers on all 3 outlets right now, Shamika Michelle. Naked Girls TV is streaming live. We're streaming live from your Shamika Michelle page. And we have an audience on Naked Girls Facebook page. So yes, shout out to Naked Nation.
Shout out to the Naked Nation. Now, y'all know that it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we appreciate all of the contributions that we have received thus far. There was a young lady who is a transplant from another city. She actually had to flee her home. She was at the brunch today, and obviously she couldn't afford to be in a relationship where she was going to have to flee, because now she is in financial hardship. She started off with a savings, now it's pretty much gone. So even for the rest of the month, we are going to be trying to raise money for her. I don't want to say her name, considering she fled from another city for her safety. She also has a daughter. I don't want to say her age either, just because you never know who's watching and who's gonna tell who. Y'all, I apologize to the Shamika Michelle. Lord Jesus Christ. Kayla, can you call your daddy and tell him I'm in the middle of a broadcast? That's my ex-husband, y'all. He can't get the times right, you know what I mean? And so he called in till I answer, and I can't answer right now. But she needs help. So for the rest of the month, we're going to continue to ask for donations. So if you will, hit that super chat button if you are on YouTube, or hit our PayPal, just so we can kind of try and continue to help her. Any money left over from the brunches from the 3 states, you know, we can donate to her. But please help her out if you have any extra money, and find it in your heart, because she stayed after and was trying to help us clean up, and just, you know, is new to the city, because like I said, she had to flee where she was from, and now her money is running out. And we're also trying to help her find a job. So if you are in this city, Durham, North Carolina, and you have maybe a job for a female, and I know we like to be funny, but I don't think she want to be out doing no forklift or pouring cement or anything like that. That's why I said a job for a female. Don't get your panties in a bunch and then say, you know, is there certain jobs just for females? You know what I mean. She is a female. She has a young child. I don't think she wants to be working like 3rd shift or anything. If you have something, resources, please hit our inbox and let us know. I'm sorry, I just needed to get that out there. What you got, Sonya?
There is a female on the YouTube. Original Naked Girl has offered to assist. So thank you, Sharissa.
Thank you so much. Oh yes, because I told her you could probably actually give her some resources too that she could check out. So we'll talk after this broadcast is over, because she's gonna call me tomorrow. What else you got, Sonya?
A lot of people are loving this hat, Shamika Michelle.
Thank you. I love this hat too, y'all, and it just makes me feel good that it was my great grandmother's hat. And we gotta start getting back to wanting to put some clothes on. Like, it's okay to be sexy. Y'all know I'll dress sexy and show a little thigh and show my midriff, because I still have a stomach. I mean, not a stomach. I still have a nice stomach, although I have had 3 kids. But sometimes you gotta, you know what I'm saying, reach back to the ancestors and do the damn thing.
We also have a comment from a young lady speaking on behalf of the young lady that was at the shelter that's remaining anonymous. That we, the Naked Nation, is going to continue to help. And her comment is that the woman we're helping is a beautiful lady with a wonderful daughter.
She is. She was very, very sweet spirit. And the sad thing is, y'all, we have a lot of these organizations that get money. They have grants. but I know from experience that they aren't able to help everyone all the time, or they have so many people on salary, you know, that are working there that they don't help the people that's in need. And so organizations such as ours, we want to put our money where our mouth is. We're saying thank you. We got a super chat. And who is that?
Bonnie Riggins.
Bonnie Riggins, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
She was one of our contributors to the Women in Waffles North Carolina 2017.
Thank you so much. So we want to put our money where our mouth is. You know, we are here to empower women, and we want to empower women on all fronts. We want to teach women how to be women. We want to teach women how to be mothers, as well as teaching women how to love themselves just the way they are, without all the extra bells and whistles and exterior things, you know. And we want to help women that are actually in need. And so help us help them. And we appreciate, like we said, everyone that has made contributions so far. We really appreciate y'all. As a matter of fact, you were actually, we listed you on the programs for the Women in Waffles. Hopefully you didn't have a problem with people knowing your names and knowing you contributed. But thank you. And y'all know I like to end this show at 7:45 to give people an opportunity that has the 8 o'clock show to go pee or do whatever you need to do. Put your pajamas on, and 15 minutes to get ready for your 8 o'clock show. I still didn't watch Bobby Christina, so I'm gonna go back and watch that tonight, hopefully. And I just want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight, and thank you for getting the analogy about the car. Join us every Monday and Friday for Dr. O, Cussing and Cardio. I am here every Sunday at 7 p.m. for Sundays with Shamika Michelle. On Tuesdays, we have Total Woman with Chris Clark. And on Thursdays, we have Naked Girls Radio with Misty Chanel and the Sister Circle. If you are in need of mental clarity, please check out our J. Michael Clark on his page for The Bears and the Bubbles. If you are into rap music, check out Backstrokes Through Concrete Waves. And don't forget that the Naked Girls has an album coming out. And please continue to support us. We appreciate it. If you don't have the book, get it. Keep It Naked, A Naked Girl's Guide to Live Life Authentically. I love all of y'all. I's tired, boss. I's going to sit down. But I's not going to bathe with no Dove soap before I lay down. Because I's know how to support my people. I's a bathe with water for I's use some Dove soap. Now, in the meantime, don't forget to keep it naked.
Peace. And while you're keeping it naked, we also would like for you to keep it coming with your investment contributions and donations to our women's advocacy movement so we can keep it naked across the nation. We are still accepting donations on behalf of Domestic Violence Month, and we are always accepting investments to help us keep empowering people across the world. We receive those investments at paypal.me/Naked Girls. And we're going to leave you here live from Shamika Michelle Studios with some Naked Girl tunes. And this joint is called I'm Better Than You. Know your worth, people. Peace.
Hey, Twin.
Hey, my Chrissy, you ready? I'm outside.
I was born ready. You know I ain't got to be my feet and put no weed together before I eat. So
I'm beautiful, I'm so fine, so green. I'm better than you. It's my life, I call the shots. I can do whatever I want. I'm doing my own thing.